Caitlyn, and she is about to grace what will be certainly one of the most talked about Vanity Fair covers ever. We're talking about the American Olympian, formerly known as Bruce Jenner. Look at this with me. Says, "Call me Caitlyn" on the cover. The magazine will publish Caitlyn, that is with a C, not a K. First photo in its July issue. This is Annie Leibovitz. Photo shoot here, interview by Buzz Bissinger. Latest cover here today. Magazine hits stands tomorrow. Caitlyn Jenner posed, as I mentioned, for star photographer Annie Leibovitz, and the upcoming article is already trending. Hashtag Call Me Caitlyn. So let's have a big conversation about this with HLN contributor and founder and editor-in-chief of SwaggerNewYork.com, Sean-Pierre Regis, and also with me, Kimberly Reed, a transgender woman. And Kim produced a documentary about her transformation from a star high school athlete in the movie Prodigal Sons, and it documented your whole life and the transition. So it is awesome to have you back, and good to see you, my friend. Can we just first talk about, Alan, throw that cover back up from the Vanity Fair. This is what we've all seen in the last hour. And Kim, just first to you, your first reaction.
Wow. I mean, that was the first reaction. My second reaction was, I wish I had Annie Leibovitz.
I know.
My photo every day, too.
Sort of stunning.
Yeah, this is it's a unique situation that Caitlyn is going through. There's not a lot of people who transition this way. But I think...
This way meaning what? Like, hello world, here I am, and I'm going to be on the cover of Vanity Fair.
Hello world, here I am. We had a period of kind of gender pronoun suspension that most trans people don't go through, where we're kind of saying, well, I am transgender, but I don't want you to use these particular pronouns. And I think that that's pretty different than what a lot of people who are transitioning go through. And, you know, we're talking about somebody who has a lot of resources, and they show up on that cover. It looks beautiful.
I want to loop back with you on the pronouns and how we should be talking about this, but to you, sir, I mean, here we all know Bruce Jenner, right, as the Olympian turned, you know, reality TV star turned, then it was the Diane Sawyer interview that like broke records with everyone watching this sort of coming out piece, right? And now the cover of Vanity Fair. Can you just talk a little bit about almost like the arc we've seen?
Yes, I mean, this is the big moment for Caitlyn Jenner, right? As you said, we did see her in the Diane Sawyer interview, but what I think is most interesting is how this has sort of followed the trans conversation culturally. So we saw Laverne Cox, obviously, on the cover of Time, talking about being trans, and she really was the first to sort of bring this to the fore pop culture-wise in 2015, and now Caitlyn Jenner is really knocking it home and bringing exposure to trans women and the transgender community globally, and there's no better magazine, I think, than Vanity Fair to bring that to the fore.
Do you remember that moment for you? I mean, I think, again, just to refamiliarize our viewers with you, knowing that you had, you know, come from this, I mean, sort of like Bruce Jenner and the epitome of masculinity, being this Olympic athlete. You were the quarterback, remember? Quarterback, right, playing football, and this transformation. What were those first, I don't know, few weeks like when you became Kim?
You know, more than anything else, it was just a big sense of relief.
Really?
So when I think of what Caitlyn's going through, I think of that just exhale for the first time in your life. I used to be really introverted and withdrawn. There's no way, for example, that I could be on the show right now as male, because I would just be too self-conscious. There was I couldn't really tap into my core, I think is maybe a good way to say it. But yeah, just a sense of relief. And when you go from being somebody who has secrets, that has this big mystery about yourself that you don't want anybody to find out, it's enormously liberating to just say, you know what, this is who I am.
I mean, Bruce Jenner had spoken, I remember in the Diane Sawyer piece, just about how many moons ago he had started taking those hormones. It sounds like this was a process for quite a while. And I think we had spoken before about what was it like almost living in that in-between area.
It's really, really confusing. It's really confusing.
Try to explain it to me.
You know, for example, when I graduated from college and I was trying to start up a career, I was also transitioning at the same time. And I was trying to be a freelance filmmaker, you know, kind of in the mornings as male and the evenings as female, and going home and changing at lunch. And the thing that Caitlyn said earlier, and to Diane Sawyer, about just wanting to wait long enough for fingernail polish to chip was something that I remember going through too. You could never, have something on that long. I remember one day I was going to work and my lipstick wasn't coming off properly. I had to call a bunch of friends and say, what do you do? Like, is there some magic way to get this off?
Right.
But yeah, just feeling like you have to present one face to some people and another face to other people, it's really exhausting. And it's not even just gender issues. I mean, I think a lot of us do that all the time, and gender is a specific thing to look at where we do an awful lot of presentation that may not be ourselves. But I think a lot of people can relate to that, whether it's, you have to be this one person at work or this other person around your family.
It'll get exhausting.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, but, and also doing this with all the world to see. I mean, obviously it was her choice to be on the cover of Vanity Fair, but my question to you then would be, isn't this then the beginning of, when is the reality series rollout involving Caitlyn Jenner? Tell me about that.
So it comes out July 26th is the premiere episode on E! And so they have been taping it all the while, sort of under wraps, before she announced that she was actually becoming transgender. And so, yeah, we'll see on July 26th the whole unveil. But of course, E! has been doing so many series about Bruce following after his Diane Sawyer interview. They've been slowly petering out this information, but we'll really see Caitlyn on her own show for the first time on July 26th.